This is Hkhs Sport bringing you that heat and that far. We keeping the foot on the whoop with the Hkhs. We keeping the foot on the whoop with the Hkhs. And like the Tibetan Mastiff that I am, I'm applying whoop on immediate pressure. Because pressure does what? Heat versus pipes. Let's talk about it, man. See, this is what Hkhs Sport was talking about, man. The Ldbc, the issue with them, and first and foremost, Hkhs Sport needs to preference this. Hkhs Sport is not Ldbc. Let me say it again. Hkhs Sport is not Ldbc. Hkhs Sport is an independent contractor, like the way that PBC is. Al Heyman and them. Independent contractor. Hkhs Sport don't know how many times he have to tell you guys this stuff. He's an independent contractor, a free agent. Do you guys understand what that means? That means that Hkhs Sport does what Hkhs Sport does, man. Stop associating Hkhs Sport with the Ldbc. Hkhs Sport is not Ldbc. So now that we've gotten that taken care of, now that we've gotten that out the way, let's talk about the video. Why are we talking about Mikey Garcia? Mikey Garcia is a Uber, a Lyft, and a hold up. Hey, taxi, Tijuana cab driver fighter. He got regressed into that, man. Spence bulldozed this guy, man. He steamrolled him. He plowed them via 1,200 punches of accumulation of punishment, man. He embarrassed Mikey Garcia. This is what Hkhs Sport was talking about when he said the Fannon international boxing channels, the Pharisee of the Ldbc. This guy's talking about Mikey Garcia. They're treating Spence like he is a lapdog, man. They're treating Spence as if Spence ain't done no damn heavyweight lifting. Why is Spence's lineage Mikey Garcia and your Dennis Hkhs? Think about that. But Terrence Crawford, the Chihuahua, walking behind the damn fence. His lineage is Sean Porter. His lineage is Manny Pacquiao. What lineage sounds better to you? You would have thought that Spence would be the one to have that lineage, and Terrence Crawford, the Chihuahua, walking behind the damn fence, will have the other lineage. This is what Hkhs Sport was talking about when he said Bud Man fans, dog, intermingling and masking themselves in sheep's clothing as fake as fuck Spence fans. Because if you're a Spence fan, really, through and through, line and line and precept upon precept, you're not going to be throwing bullshit and fuck shit like this to Spence's way. You're going to be sitting here in this most cold-hearted, you're going to be sitting here in this most unadulterated, and you're going to be sitting here in this most cutthroat truth-telling fashion and tell the fucking truth. And what is the truth that there is, y'all? That we have to sit here and look at the delineation. We have to sit here and look at the golf, and we have to look at the separation between Terrence Crawford and the Truth Spence. Why does Terrence Crawford get a Manny Pacquiao fight? What did he do to deserve that fight? It's a things that make you say, It's a things that make you say, So all of a sudden, Terrence Crawford gets to fight Manny Pacquiao, but the Truth Spence gotta fight Mikey Garcia, a guy that he's already exposed, a guy that he's already done the fuck up, a guy that he already embarrassed. Mikey Garcia is clearly suffering advanced stages of CTE. For you to be calling out a guy that beat the shit out of you, you're not thinking straight anymore. Let me say it again. For you to call out a guy that beat the living shit out of you, you are not thinking straight anymore. You're suffering what we call CTE protocol, man. Mikey Garcia is embarrassed. He's an embarrassment to boxing. And this is the guy that the Fannon international boxing channels, you will know them by the fruits that they bear. That this guy right here, in Rudy Poo and Plum Brain fashion, in classic Golden Troglodyte fashion, in ultra fanboy with the ultra fanboy rhetoric fashion, want to sit here and run his rabbit ass mouth and tell you that Mikey Garcia is calling out the Truth Spence. Y'all should be covering the news and laugh at Mikey Garcia. Y'all should be saying, why is Mikey Garcia calling out the Truth Spence? But they're not going to do that, man. And you know why they're not going to do that? Because they have a hidden agenda. I done told you guys this stuff, man. Pure Beta Supremes always have a hidden agenda. You want to know what it is? Pure beta supremes cannot stand true alpha extraordinaires governed by true alpha economics. They want to be like them. They want to prostrate themselves as them. But they know they can never be them. So hence, this is why they hate on them. Woo, woo, woo. What I said was so deep and profound. Let me let that marinate in the corpus callosum and in the cerebellum. So hear me, fucking wow. Pure beta supremes, i.e. the Ldbc'S, they want to be like the Earl the True Spence of the world. They want to be like the Floyd Money Mayweathers of the world, man. They want to be true alpha extraordinaires governed by true alpha economics. The problem is, they are not that. The problem is, they will never be that. Because it's an alpha lineage that you have to have. It has to be in your lifeline. It has to be in your blood. Because alphas are like clutch factor, dog. It has to be DNA filled. Yes, I know a lot of people are like, but nah, man, you got to prove your alpha. Yes, you got to prove your alpha every fucking day too. So that you can keep your alphaness and you can maintain it. But there are people that are born alphas and there are people that are born betas, man. What do I mean when I say that? Their mindset. It's not that they were born an alpha from the womb. It's not that they were born a beta from the womb. It's their mindset that shows you that they were born to be an alpha. They were born to be a beta. Earl the True Spence was born to be an alpha. These Ldbc mites were born to be pure fucking beta supremes. Because when you sit here and you tell us that a unified IBF and WBC welterweight champion has to regress himself to the Mikey Garcia and the Hkhs levels, but at the same time, Terrence Crawford, who has one fucking belt, and it is a what Bob orders belt, and turns around and you tell him he gets to fight Manny Pacquiao. He gets to have heavyweight lifting. What has he done to get that? It's a things that make you say, It's a things that make you say, See, so he knows the sport's not making up something that you guys didn't already see, man. He knows the sport's not telling you something that you didn't already know. And what is it? That Earl the True Spence is hated upon, man. Earl the True Spence has now taken on the mantle that Floyd Money Mayweather used to have. You know what that's called? It's called the polarization of being a true alpha extraordinaire governed by true alpha economics. You know, the sport has to deal with this polarization on YouTube, man. It's a dichotomy because people can't be you, dog. It's a special fraternity of us, man, that are true alpha extraordinaires governed by true alpha economics. But we got to deal with the lamest pure beta supreme, man. Left and right, pure beta supremes. North, east, and south, pure beta supremes. Each direction we go, pure beta supremes. In every direction we turn, pure fucking beta supremes, man. Because like Enos the Sport told you guys, they want the alpha lineage. They want to be that true alpha, dog. But they can't handle the lifeline and the blood shift of being a true alpha. Because to be a true alpha extraordinaire governed by true alpha economics, you have to follow the lineage that is called being a true alpha. You have to follow the lifeblood that is called being a true alpha. And you have to have the mindset of being a true alpha. But guess what? If you don't have none of those, it's a things that make you say, If you don't have none of those, it's a things that make you say, So in its most cold-hearted, in its most unadulterated, and in its most cutthroat truth teller fashion associated as this, man, we have to look at the delineation. We have to look at the distinction. We have to look at the golf, and we have to look at the separation of Earl the True Spence and Terrence Crawford. How come Enos the Sport is the only one telling the truth here, man? Because he's the ultimate truth teller on YouTube. You got a lot of these pandering narrative folks, man. Reverse bias, AK detractors, AK panderers. It's seeped into the so-called black community fan base, i.e. the Ldbc. Because they're not telling you the truth. First they told you, well, Earl the True Spence needs to accept 50-50. What fucking bullshit is that? When you got a guy that sold 57K pay-per-view buys. Then they tell you that Earl the True Spence needs to figure out something because he's the one that's holding up the fight. When Terrence Crawford, the Chihuahua walking behind a damn fist, tells you that he's ashamed. Motherfucker, we should be ashamed about your pay-per-view numbers. We should be ashamed about what you've done. We should be ashamed about you in general. What have you done from a heavyweight lifting perspective to show us heavyweight lifting greatness? Because what you've shown us is not greatness personification. You've shown us greatness mimication, man. Earl the True Spence is greatness personification. But what did Enos the Sport tell you guys? Greatness personification can only be hindered. The motherfucker can't be stopped. So you can't stop greatness, dog. You can mimic it. And when you mimic it, guess what? Doesn't mean that it is greatness. Earl the True Spence embodies the polarization of greatness personification can only be hindered. It can't be stopped. Because when his own black community fan bases turn on him, his own black community fan bases are telling him he needs to take 50-50 when he is the most decorated guy, when he is the guy that's done the most heavyweight lifting, it's a things that make you say, It's a things that make you say, So what's not cold-hearted about this? What's not unadulterated about this? And what's not the cutthroat true teller fashion that's associated with this? That Earl the True Spence has to be a guy who has to do what Terrence Buck Crawford is getting a license and don't have to do. Does that make any sense to you guys? You Rudy Poo and Plum Plum Prince. Does that make any sense to you guys? You classic dotes and troglodytes. Does it make any sense to you guys? You ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric. If it don't make no sense to you guys, then why are we talking about this shit? See, this is what we were talking about when we say fight fans are filled with bullshit, man. Fight fans are filled with nonsense, and fight fans are filled with what we call ridiculousness. Because when we tell the truth here, we tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, man. And the truth that's as simple as this is that Earl the True Spence is getting the same level of polarization that Floyd Mayweather got. And he knows the sport. And a prediction, King Strikes. And a prediction, King Strikes. I told you guys this is what was going to happen. That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat true teller fashion. I keeps the foot on the what? On the next. I keeps the foot on the what? On the next. When it's all said and done, Earl the True Spence is always going to get what Earl the True Spence is always going to get. Terrence Buck Crawford is always going to get what Terrence Buck Crawford is always going to get. And boxing community fan bases are what's wrong with the sport of boxing. And that's why the sport is in the fucking gutter that it is. This is He Knows the Sport. Checking out.